Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not following us on our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. And you can also tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you so we had some damn hackers. All right? It was all one handle at the Shawn Sierra until my Facebook account got hacked, so now I'm Shawn.Sierra2025. My Twitter account is now ShawnSierra33. But Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Those are still at the Shawn Sierra. So we got a good show. We got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show in that, my peoples. So it makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat, because the chat is jumping. Cornelius calls. Top of the morning, Shawn Sports Zone. Just a minor hiccup. No Cubs, no. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. is in the house. Junior, what's up, Baba? Black Diamond. This is pipe down, Rick. Michonne Booker. Y'all only won because of a remedial ass manager taking out a guy who throws 100 with a nasty splitter for a guy who barely throws 94. Hey. I don't know what to tell you, homie. I don't know what to tell you. Junior, what is wrong with you? I'm just not feeling baseball this year. Dude, did you just watch the series this weekend? What the hell's wrong with you, bro? Mr. Southside himself, what's up on a House Music Monday morning? Southside, stand up! That's what I'm talking about. House Music Monday. And I was going to wear a shirt, but I was like, I was going to wear a House Music shirt, but I was like, I can't. I got to represent Southside. Stand up. Rashawn said, there goes Black Diamond, whining as usual. Black Diamond says, Mondo, we'll never win with Council's ass. Junior, very good. Round one goes to the south side. We'll see you next month. My man Rick Gonzalez in the house. What's up, bro? It's like this Monday morning joint is hitting a little different this morning. Southside staying up. FGB. Hashtag F visiting Wisconsin. Black Diamond. Nothing you say will bring us down today, my friend. Black Diamond impressed. It says, Rick, kudos to y'all. That's what good teams do. Capitalize on mistakes, and unfortunately, we made a lot of them. Very true. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. That, I can promise you. We got a great show at 10 o'clock. Herb Lawrence. Chicago White Sox writer's going to come on. He's going to join us. Talk about this Crosstown Classic Southside edition this week. And, Yeah, it was everything you could want. I would have loved the sweep, and I would have loved the game that I went to. Sox won, but you know what? They took 2 out of 3. And remember, that's all I said. I'm like, give me 2 out of 3. I'd love a sweep, but give me 2 out of 3. And 2 out of 3 is what we got. And not only did we get it, we got it in spectacular fashion. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this hat and not the official White Sox one to go with the uniform, this is the hat. I don't know how can I get this onto. Let's see. Let's see if I could do this. Hold on. Because it was. We'll see if I can do this. Hold on, player. Because it was fun, man. We had a blast at the game Friday, excuse me. And it was fun. It was awesome. The tailgate was awesome. Music was awesome. All right. The only thing that wasn't awesome was the end result. All right, that stunk. But I can't change that. See if it's you sons of biscuits. It won't let me. Will not let me. Stink. So I was fortunate. I was very fortunate to I'm gonna mail this myself. See if I can get this here. See, because I was fortunate enough. So I was at a tailgate on Friday. Okay, and my buddy throws tailgates. I'm telling you, this is why. That's why I'm telling you, you guys gotta come party with me. My guy's been throwing tailgates for 10, 15 years now. 15 to 20, maybe, actually. He's been working with the Sox forever. All right. And so he knows a lot of people in the sales office, in the group sales office, the whole nine. Well, we have we had a special guest coming into our tailgate, and he gets the spot right outside of gate 2. So you see me holding in my hand the green wristband this hat that I'm wearing today. So I was on the pregame show. They asked us a couple of questions. It was dope. Me, Chuck, Ozzy, the boy Pimpin'. 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 Oh, man. Pimpin'. I'm telling you, it was great. Oh, it's raining out here now. Oh, snap. And I'm trying to they asked a couple questions. It was cool. They asked I guess they're doing it with the Secretary of State, like, okay, distracted driving is such and such, and distracted drive, is that true or false? I'm like, well, duh, true. And then they had they asked me something else. It was dope. Then they asked me some
changing the playlist or using a navigational system or all types of distracted driving. True or false? True. True again. Everyone's getting them right. Is it the responsibility of the driver to follow right-of-way laws to keep pedestrians and cyclists safe? True. You gotta look out for them too. Yes, true again. Hey, let's see, who cross a tree. The White Sox 5 starting pitchers. Who has the lowest ERA? Oh, easy. That's the best pitcher in Chicago, Davis Martin. Right hey, look at Shawn. He knows what's going on. And then who is second in home runs on the White Sox this season? Oh, Colson. Montgomery. Shawn, do you want to host the pre- and post-game show? I'd love it. I'd love it. He knows his stuff.
That clip courtesy of CHSN. Your boy out there. Like, they ain't know. Like, you ain't know? Come on, bro. You ain't know? So that was dope. Yeah, I got the hat. I like this hat. You see, I have the other. This is the one I wore to the game with my jersey. So it was that was fun. That was fun. Yes, Rick, I do like Wisconsin to go. Wisconsin's a nice little suburb of Chicago. Okay. And just to get away, it's just not as crowded. Don't worry, I rep my Chicago teams when I'm up there, especially my Bears. I double dog dare someone who kisses their cousin to come say something to me. All right, we don't have a problem. And you don't want no problem. They don't want no problems. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. We're going to talk about that with Herb today. All right, we're going to talk about that. It is, you know how long it's going to take to get to Iowa, fool? It's about 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours to get to Iowa. No. I go to Wisconsin. I get there an hour and a half from where I live. No. And there's no Nike outlet store in Iowa. All right, they have one in Kenosha. I go to Kenosha. I go to the Aurora one. I go to the one on the south side. I go to the one in Rosemont. But I ain't going to Iowa. It's a long way. What they got in Iowa? At least they got Milwaukee, which is a cute little town up there. Nice little suburb of Chicago. Oh man, that was a moment. That was a moment for the White Sox this weekend. Okay? The White Sox could have taken 2 out of 3, which they did, or swept. Just won the series, either way. It's a moment. Why? Because you're taking on a team with one of the better records in baseball, a team that's leading the the National League Central. Okay, and granted, it was at home. It was at our place. But it doesn't matter. On the homestand, on the longest homestand of the year, 9 games. Remember what I said last week when I said, hey, or before the homestand started, I'm like, if we can go 6-3 or 7-2 would be even better. Remember I said 6-3, I said 7-2, we can go 7-2. We went 7-2. We went 7-2. Okay? Against a Seattle team that's good. Going to see them now or today. A Royals team that was right neck and neck with us. Swept them. And a team that's leading the National League Central. A World Series contending team in the Chicago Cubs. So to take 7, to win 7 of those 9 games shows this team has turned a corner. Shows this team will not stop. They will not quit. Shows this team is full of a bunch of guys who are dying to contribute. Doesn't matter how long they wait. They could wait 2 or 3 or 4 days before they play again, but damn it, when their number's called, they're ready. Randall Grichuk. What? On Thursday, did he have a homer? He had a homer, a 2-run homer, and a 2-run double. Randall Grichuk, who the hell is that? He's a vet, a journeyman who loves playing for this team, with these teammates, waited his turn, and that day, he stepped up. That day, he stepped up. Davis Martin, 3rd best ERA in baseball. Going into Saturday's game, Davis Martin had started 4 games after the Sox had a losing streak. His record after those games is 4-0. He is a streak stopper. He's a losing streak stopper. What did he do for Saturday? He stopped that streak again. He's 5-0 now. Davis Martin is one of the best young pitchers in the game. And if he continues this at this rate, he's going to be up for starting in the All-Star game. If he continues this rate for another June, July, a month and a half, almost 2 months. The thing that's so great about it is that everybody picks each other up. Edgar Caro yesterday was in the middle of a slump. What a way to break out of the slump, young man. What a way to break out of the slump. 3 for 5. 3 ribbies yesterday with the walk-off in the bottom of the 10th. This team continues to find, they don't continue to find, this team continually has different people step up when their number is called. Continually. And a lot of this, one of the things that we talked about that I say all the time, it doesn't matter what sport. If you take care of the little things, there are no big things. J.J. Wright, one of his coaches instilled that in him as a player. If you take care of the little things, there are no big things. Well, what are some of the little things? Well, some of the little things are like the fifth inning. When Murakami hits into a sure double play with 1 out. Sure double play, 1 out, inning over, right? No. Busts his ass down the line, beats the relay throw, extends the inning. Vargas homer. Things like that are what good teams do. And it wasn't the mistake of the defense. No. It's not like they were lollygagging. They didn't take their sweet time. They didn't overlook. Mooney just ran his ass off down the first base line to keep the inning alive. He did. And he did. And he allowed his teammates to pick him up. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Coaching matters. Will Venable has these guys playing, understanding you must give me your best effort. In situations like that, I need your best effort. I need you to run down the first base line to keep the inning alive. Why? Because of what just happened after. You don't know what's going to happen to people behind you, but you give them the opportunity with guys on base. And I'm not saying the Cubs didn't do well, and they did. They played well. The White Sox just played better. Jameson Taillon was serving a batting practice on Saturday, so that was – you guys didn't have a shot there. But yesterday's game, back and forth, there was plenty of – you started off with a 2-run homer. Was it a walk and a blast? Then you scored again, 3-0 after a half an inning. But this team didn't quit. This team doesn't stop. This team realizes they have 27 outs, and they use all 27. Or 24. Sometimes you don't need 27. Or 30. Or 33, depending on however many outs they get. If you got to go to extras, they'll use them. But Will Venable has his team believing in themselves, believing that no lead is insurmountable. And that is awesome. Black Diamond says, hey, Shawn, a smart man once said coaching matters. That proved to be true yesterday. Venable outmanaged Council. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Sometimes, just like the players get the better of other players, managers will get the better of other managers throughout the season. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. Some of the moves you make are going to work for you. Other moves you make are going to backfire. I don't know what to tell you. It's the law of averages. Now, here's the one thing that the Cub fans, you must hope. You must hope that this series, these last two games, these last two losses, don't turn into two or three more losses. You're limping back home up north, and there's no rest for the weary. The Brewers are coming to town. You can't let what happened Saturday and Sunday affect the next 3 days. Can't. Cannot let it affect these 3 days, because those 2 losses could turn into 3 or 4 or 5 losses in a heartbeat. Here's where you're going to find out how good of a manager Craig Counsell is. So you cannot allow what the White Sox did to you to permeate and fester because the Brewers are coming to town. You know, it was great on the South Side. I loved it this weekend. Like I said, the only thing better is if the Sox would have swept and they would have won the game that I was at on Friday. But I can't complain. I got this hat. I got to meet Ozzy and Chuck. But now we're talking about coaching. Can Craig get these guys back on track? Can some of these veterans get this team back on track? You got plenty of veterans. You got the Alex Bregmans. Black Diamond year 4. He's like, zero faith in Counsell. He's Eberpuke's cousin. How did Eberflus catch a stray? He didn't even do nothing. Oh, man. But here's where you're going to find out how good of a manager Craig Counsell is. Can he get these guys going? And as I said before, it ultimately comes down to the players. You know what the hell you got to do. You're in the big leagues for a reason. You've been playing ball for at least 15 to 20 years. 15 to 20 years. You understand this game has to be, this series for the White Sox has to be put in the rearview mirror, and you have to look forward. Because you got a team coming in here that is your arch rival. That are ready to do exactly what the White Sox did to you, except they want to sweep. And now it affects you big time because now you're dealing in the division. Now you're dealing with division play. They're a game and a half behind. Every game this series counts for one whole game. Really? The lady who yelled at PCA just lost her job. Why? Really? You know, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. How? So, I didn't hear all of it. I saw some of it where she's saying you suck. She's calling him PC AAA. She was giving him shit when he missed the dive or the jumping catch. He ran into the wall, and she was on him. And PCA used some very not nice language. First of all, bro, you got to have thicker skin. You're in enemy territory. You got to have thicker skin. Can't just start going, suck my F and D, you F and B. Really? Because she's rooting for your team and tells you suck because she roots for the opposing team? Come on. Okay, good. Fake news, good. Yeah, PCA talk shit back to that lady. Again, you don't got to go there. You don't got to call her a B. You don't got to, you know what I mean? Like, that says a lot more about you than her. She's a fan. She's cheering on her team. She's razzing the opposing team. And you didn't like it because you're mad because of the fact that you missed that catch. You looked like you had it, and as you're about to get it, you hit the wall. You're discombobulated. The ball landed. It happens. That's baseball. But to get up there and tell her, suck my D, you F and B, come on, bro. Really? That's that. And I get it. You're in the moment. You're mad. You're frustrated. You knew you had that ball. And you just didn't because the wall was there. I understand. Let's call a fan that, dude. Now, if she came out of pocket, like I didn't hear what she said. I mean, if she was just calling you PC AAA and you suck, really, bro? If that's all she said, and you know, you got to have thicker skin than that. You know what I mean? You got to have thicker skin. Can't just be calling women B's because you're mad. Because she's rooting for the opposing team and she's heckling you because you missed a fly ball. Whatever, Junior. That's his personality, though. He's a very emotional player, PCA. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fined by Major League Baseball. You can't just be saying that to fans. And he should be fined. He should be fined. I would say, shut up, bimbo, shut up something. Shut up. You don't got to curse at a fan. You can insult the fans back. That's fine. But to suck my D, you stupid F and B? Come on. There's a whole bunch of different things you could have said to that lady. Nice t-shirt. You look like a fool. You're stupid. Keep drinking. You're drunk. Dummy. Something. But to go attack her like that, dude, she's a fan. She didn't accost you. She didn't attack you. She didn't assault you. And just to call her a B because you're mad because you missed that fly ball and she was laughing at you and talking shit. Come on, bro. Get thicker skin than that. Grow the fuck up. Grow up. Oh, my God, Becky. Look who's in the chat. Keds is in the building. Keds is in the building. From our neighbor to the north. Oh, Canada. He said, what's your win-loss prediction since the schedule release? I say another 10-11 wins. I said 10-11 wins. Yeah. The Cricket Commish checking in. What's up, Baba? Said, what's up, Shawn? Last game was awesome. Hated the ending, but oh well. That was baseball. And I'll tell you what, even had the Cubs won after they scored that 8th run in the top of the 10th, Had they wanted that, I still would have said it was a great series. That was probably one of the best crosstown series, if not the best crosstown series I've seen. One of the, if not the, it's in the top 3. May even be. I shouldn't even waste time. That should be the best. It's probably the best. The way the Cubs put belt to ass. It was close in the first game. Sox tied it at 4. Then the Sox made some mistakes. They had throwing errors. Remember what I told you? Take care of the little things. There are no big things. Errors, giving teams extra outs. That's what the White Sox weren't doing. They did game 1. Cubs took advantage. Game 2. Sox took advantage of a pitcher who was leaving stuff over the plate all game. 5 homers. Then game 3, the rubber match. The Cubs go up early. Sox come back and tie. Sox go ahead. Cubs tie. Cubs go ahead. Sox walk it off. How much more exciting can you get? I know you couldn't even keep a straight face when you type this. Even keel, like when I played, is how PCA should have been. I know you couldn't even, you had to be laughing your ass off, bro. Kenneth says, wow, real lineman. My guess was 10-11 as well. Yeah, bro. You know, I just don't think everyone talks about this. Everyone loves to make up shit. Oh, their strength of schedule. I talked to you about the strength of schedule. And kids, people don't understand. And here's the thing that bothers me. Let's look at all the teams that are great or that people think are going to be a problem. How many of their coordinators left? How many offensive coordinators left? Defensive coordinators left? How many got new teams? Yes, you have a first-place schedule, but let's think about it. Let's think about last year. Everyone thought, oh, my goodness, the Bears had to play the AFC North. Well, guess what? We handled them. Only team we lost to, I believe, was Baltimore, and even they sucked, and they had a down year. We beat Pittsburgh. We beat Joey Burr. You know what I mean? Like so when everyone's saying, oh, it's the toughest schedule, and I get it. By the record last year, teams' records last year, it's the most difficult. But no team stays the same ever in pro sports. All right? Coordinators leave, offensive coordinators leave, defensive coordinators leave, special teams coordinators leave, head coaches leave, players leave, new players are signed, draft picks arrive. And you just can't account for a team having a bad year like Baltimore did last year. Just can't account for it. So when everyone gets all up in arms about the strength of schedule, I'm like, not so fast, my friends. Let's take it 1 week at a time. And it also depends on when you get them, too. If you get them early, you get teams early, damn, play it. So let's look at this quickly. Carolina, okay, they're all right. You get Minnesota early. They're going to be working with a new quarterback. You get Philly early. They had a lot of issues going last year as well. How many people thought they were going to have regress like they did coming off a Super Bowl? The Jets are the Jets, and they sucked. Green Bay, it's early on. I know it's week 5. But if you can handle them, you can come out 6-0 before you go into the Super Bowl teams, the Pats and the Seahawks. Who's to say? I don't think the Patriots are going to be as good as they were this past year. Not at all. And with Seattle, was that a blip in the radar? Because if it was, now you're looking at 8-0. Before you deal with the Buccaneers, who've been pretty good. Karen says, I think Carolina catches us off guard. I have it as a loss. Really? No, I don't think that. And the reason that is Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson seems to have, he seems to understand. I highly doubt this team is not going to be ready week 1. I highly doubt that'll be the case. I highly doubt that'll be the case week 1. It's possible, but I think it's highly unlikely. I think that the Bears, just to start the season, are going to want to come out hot. Going to want to come out hot. They weren't ready last year in week 1. Come on, kids. They had a new coach, a new coaching staff, an entire staff. You don't know how these guys are going to how this coaching is. Game situations, you don't. He's established credibility. He's not going to let that happen. You think that loss is on the defense, not the offense? Well, here's the question. Is Carolina going to be able to stop our offense? Because right now, what the Bears have seemingly said is, can you score with us? Can you score with us? We'll give up some big plays. Can you score with us? Because we got Rome Odunze. Everyone, and I know, I'm not a huge Rome Odunze fan. I'm a fan. Although I do like Luther Burden. Let's not forget, Rome Odunze was in the league leaders in touchdowns in the first four or five games of the year last year before he got hurt. Let's not forget that. All right. Colston Loveland has come into his own. Luther Burden has come into his own. Jade Walker has come into his own. An undrafted free agent who made 2 huge catches last year. So, Colston Loveland led the Bears in receiving yards last year. Cole Kmet, still one of those guys you have to watch, as evidenced by the playoff game. Then our run game. There's just no way that I think the Bears will not be. There's no way they're going to be unprepared. None. I just don't see it. I just don't see him being unprepared. And it's possible. I think it's highly unlikely. What are you talking about, a vendetta? What vendetta does Carolina have against us? What, that we took them to the cleaners in the for the first overall pick that we had? Their first overall pick that they gave to us? Is that the vendetta? I just don't see the Bears coming out slow, kids. I just don't. Like I said, it's possible, but in my opinion, it's highly, highly unlikely. Here's the point, and I want to say the Bears are going to get there this year. They're going to be at a point where when they're better than a team and they know it, they come out and they handle business. They come out, score early, often, put teams out of their misery quickly, and let it ride. And it can be done. When you have a psychopath head coach like Ben Johnson, who's going to make sure that you are prepared and that your focus is solely on the next opponent, it can happen. I'm telling you, it can happen because the team I played on, my first year at the Thunder, or in 2006, so literally 20 years ago, we won a national championship. I think we played a 10-game schedule. I sat out about 2.5 games. They just took us out second half. Why? Because we were up 35-0 at half, 42-0 at half, 42-7 at half. So I sat. We came out, scored early, often, you're done. Backups in. And I think that's the situation that the Bears are. Oh, so yes, so you're saying that's the vendetta. We've been eating off that trade for the last 3 seasons. Quietly, Carolina's been putting together a solid squad on both sides of the ball. Yes, they have. I just don't think they're ready for us. But we'll find out. We will find out September 13th. It's going to be one heck of a game. By that, I mean the Bears are going to whoop that ass. That's what I mean. I just don't see Carolina, and there's no disrespect to them. I don't know if they have enough firepower to hang with us. And I know they have a good defense, but do you have 3 good cornerbacks that you can throw out at our receivers? You have 3 good cornerbacks if you go man to stop Rome, to stop Luther, to stop Colson, to stop Xavier Thomas. Do you have a guy who can stay with him? I don't know if they do. Honestly, I don't think so, Keds. Because they'll be much more competitive than one might think. I don't think so. I know it's in Carolina. That gives them a little bit of an advantage. But it could be an advantage for the Bears, too. Because now you're on the road, team, no family, no friends, no nothing. You're isolated. You're focused strictly on your opponent. And, Keds, the more I think about it, the more I think the Bears are going to blow the brakes off. Because of that. We're on the road. No, we're starting the season off just us. Us 53 guys, that's it. No friends, no family, no nothing. It's us. And these busters here in Carolina. We'll revisit that September 14th. We'll revisit that the next day, Keds. How about that? T. Nick in the house with Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. What's up, Papa? How are you? Top of the morning, Shawn. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, I'd be shocked if we dropped that first game, too. Yeah, I'd be shocked as well. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to continue talking about that ass whooping. Whoop. Cup fans, I am not going to stop. I am not going to stop because, believe me, after Friday's game, all the nonsense I had to deal with walking out of that stadium, all the W flags that you guys had, you know what? I need to buy an L flag. That's what I need to do. So when we get next year when I go to the CrossTown Classic, I don't know, I'm not going to go up to Wrigley. Maybe, but chances are I'm not. Next time I go to the CrossTown Classic and they hold on to that L, I'm holding the banner. You're damn right I am. But listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to keep talking about this CrossTown Classic, probably one of the best, if not the best, in the last 20 years. With our guy Herb Lawrence. All right, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
You should totally talk to him. No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Well, welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. See, that's what happens when Steve's not around. Holy cow. Wow, I couldn't even get that. So Steve-O lives out in the country, in the boonies. And so I guess they had storms out there, and so his power was out. So all of the clips that I needed and everything couldn't get because Steve-O was powerless. So I was trying to play it, trying to share the screen. It didn't work out well. Yeah. And I don't know if you heard the audio or whatnot, but I was trying to get it. And you can tell I'm not very tech savvy. That's why I have Steve-O. But anyway, let's bring on our guest for today. I'm excited to have him. I want to talk about this and see what he thinks this means, this series. All right. I know it's not a critical series in the season for the White Sox, but it's a critical series in the season for the White Sox. So we're going to bring him on. He's a White Sox writer. All right. You can find him on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Ecknerwall23. Guys, just welcome back to ShawnSierraSports. Herb Lawrence. Herb, what's up, Papa? Good morning. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on again, Shawn. It's always great to be on air.
Bro, first and foremost, let me just tell you, the amount of shit talking that I did the last couple of days well, yesterday and this morning to my Cub fan friends has been epic. It's been epic.
And we always know that, Cubs are going to act, and Cub fans for the most part are going to act like this, and they're going to be above it all. But underneath, it's bubbling that they lost a series to the White Sox. And the way the White Sox have been playing the last couple of years, they thought this was going to be a walk. And when the White Sox just come and pummel the Cubs and win the series at home, they're going to act, oh, good job. It was your World Series. We really don't care. Our real games are going to get to the Brewers this week. Yeah, I got it. But it feels so good to shut those people up, and they're seething beneath the surface, even though they're trying to act cool on social media.
You know damn well they're seething.
Mm-hmm.
One of my cousin, I texted him, and he was like, oh, you're the worst team in one of the worst teams in baseball. I'm like, bro, if Cleveland loses, this is before they finished playing. I said, if Cleveland loses, we're tied for first. I said, we're ahead by percentage points. What are you talking about, the worst team? And he's like, well, the worst division in baseball. I'm like, okay, that you got a point. But it's not our fault we're in this division. So it was great. But talk to me about what you're seeing with this White Sox team that we haven't seen in the last couple of seasons that has really gotten these guys believing that they don't give a damn how many outs are left. They believe they can win. What's different?
I mean, the main thing the White Sox this year, as opposed to years before, and all the time when the White Sox do win and are a good team, is they hit home runs. A bunch of home runs. Like, they are second in the league, tied with the Atlanta Braves, in total home runs. I think the New York Yankees have the most. But if you hit the ball over the fence, you're going to score more runs. And that's what the White Sox do. The old Rick Hahn and on old baseball adage, ball go far, team go far, is coming true for this team. Now, they don't have, like, superstars. Mooney Manataka is great, and he's a top-notch power hitter. Colson Montgomery's coming to be that best shortstop in the league. He's only behind, I believe, Bobby Witt Jr. as far as defensive runs saved. And you get the emergence of Miguel Vargas becoming the player that Chris Getz and the White Sox staff thought he was going to be when he was traded in the Michael Kopech, Eric Fetty trade a couple of years ago. I poo-pooed that trade because I was like, this Miguel Vargas is no good. In his first year with the White Sox, showed that. Now he's turning into the guy that they've always envisioned. When you got those three core elements of people who are hitting the ball over the fence and fielding pretty well, it really doesn't matter that you don't have a real good outfield at all. Like, Andrew Benintendi started to hit, but he's not good. Same thing with Garrett Kelnick, and Tristan Peters is a former Savannah Banana, even though he came up with a clutch home run yesterday. His first home run in his major league career was yesterday for the former Savannah Banana. And it seems like these guys, and I know it's cliche, what's comes first, the chicken or the egg, but they seem to be having fun with each other, and that chemistry is pouring out onto the field. They're having a good time, and so they're winning ball games. Are they winning because they're having a good time, or are they winning because they're just a good team? I don't know how much further this team can go, but for right now, beating the Cubs anytime is great. But the Cubs this year are a really good team. They've had two separate 10-plus win streaks in this season already. So beating them and taking them down 2 out of 3 this weekend shows me the White Sox are not that old team that we saw the last 3 years. Maybe not a playoff contender, but they're on the upswing, and they can get to the playoffs this year because the American League is so down while the White Sox are ascending.
Yeah, they are. And you know what? First and foremost, I'm not going to apologize for the division we're in. We're in it. Baseball places us in it, and it happens all the time. All right, 1 year, one division is up. It's a really hot, and everybody's over 500, and damn near everyone makes the playoffs. And then other years, only the division winner makes the playoffs because that whole division's down. And right now, our division's down, and now it's ripe for the taking. And talk to me about the little things that this team does. All right, I'm a former player and I'm a former coach, and to me, little things matter. One of my coaching colleagues once told me, if you take care of the little things, there are no big things. and the White Sox. Talk to me about the White Sox taking care of the little things, like Munitaki running out the double, beating out the double play, which extended the inning. All right, guys hitting the cutoff man. Okay, talk to me about the little things that these White Sox players, this White Sox team is doing, and all the big results it's creating.
I mean, you've been watching the last couple of years. Every time that you see a player in the outfield go for a ball, you'll see another player collide with him in the last couple of years. Now, it almost happened yesterday with Colson Montgomery calling off Acuna, who was a defensive replacement, but it didn't happen. Those things, the little miscues, as you were saying, they hit the cutoff man. They are playing more fundamentally sound baseball. And that's a credit to what Will Venable's leadership and the rest of his coaching staff has done, because all the stuff the White Sox did to lose 100 games last couple of years, yeah, the talent wasn't there, but they also would make the fundamental mistakes time and time again. They would beat themselves time and time again. How many times do you see them go against the Guardians coming up in the 9th inning? It's the White Sox at the lead, or the Guardian, or they're tied. And you know the Guardians are going to walk it off, or they're going to do something fundamentally sound to beat the White Sox.
Because Naylor was always coming up, that son of a biscuit.
Exactly. And now we're going to see him in Seattle this weekend, who are down big time right now because the San Diego Padres went up there and swept 3 from them. But like, everything that could go wrong did go wrong in the last 3 years. Now these guys are playing with confidence. Colson Montgomery is one of the best shortstops in the league. We haven't had that since he's come up. He's been one of the best shortstops defensively and offensively in the league. Before that, we have not had that. You had the solid play at second base from Chase Meidroff. While I don't think that he's a top-notch third baseman, Miguel Vargas can field his position at third, and the same thing for Munetake Murakami. And they just do the fundamental things right. I'm not a big-time fan of sacrifice bunts, but with Derek Hill, with Tristan Peters, and other players, the aforementioned Acuna, they bunt very well. They get the job done, and they put a little bit more pressure on opposing defenses. Okay, I can't play Derek Hill way back here because he's going to drop that bunt and get a bunt single on me, so I got to play up. And now that makes that defense vulnerable to balls that are going right past him. I don't like necessarily defensive or giving up outs, but they execute them well. And what they do also with runners in scoring position is drive those runners in. So many times in the past, you saw these White Sox teams. What happened in the 10th inning, where you got a runner on third after advancing him with a sacrifice from Andrew Benintendi, who did it very well. You would have saw that guy, the next guy, Carroll, come up and strike out or pop the ball up into the shortstop or something like that, and then the next guy get out. The Cubs win that game. But instead, they're taking advantage of their situation. Edgar Carroll knew he had a job. Get ball in the air to score that runner from third. They play much better, fundamental, situational baseball, so that leads to wins. He was probably just trying to get the ball in the air, but that pitcher threw it center, and he crushed that ball to left center field for the game winner, and it feels good. Even though he has not played well himself this whole year, that and feeling that joy that came from that ballpark yesterday and his teammates can get him going, because we just had a setback from Kyle Teal, who tweaked his knee down in the minor leagues. So it's good looking like it's going to be Drew Romo and Edgar Carroll for the time being. So we need Edgar Carroll to be the guy that he was last year for this team to continue to ascend, because his catching's been all right and his calling of the challenges have been hit or miss. But if he can do it with both sides of the plate, this team will go from one level right there where they're at right now to the next level. And to speak to what you were talking about the division being down this year, a couple of years ago when the White Sox lost those 100-plus games, maybe the most in Major League history, all 4 teams above them went to the playoffs. So this AL Central is can go from the best league in the league to the worst team in the league. And I don't even think they're the worst, because they have 2 teams over 500, the Cleveland Guardians and the Chicago White Sox now, while the AL West has 0, where the Sacramento A's are in first place with 2 games under 500. So I think they can relinquish that worst team or worst division in baseball for now.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right on that one. I enjoy watching this team play together. You mentioned the fact that they're having fun, all right? But they're also Ozzie called it best years ago because pitching, defense, and 3-run homers. That'll win you a lot of games, and it has. Talk to me about how different people just step up. Who the hell is Randall Grichuk? Who the hell is that dude? Drives in 4 RBIs the other day. I never heard of the dude, and he's been around for like ever. Talk to me about how the culture, because we're going to talk about Will Venable after this, but the culture that has been set in that clubhouse, that people are biding their time, and when their number is called, they deliver.
I think it's a byproduct of who Will Venable was as a player. He was not a guy that started a bunch of games. Like, he did start in his major league career mostly with the Padres, but he was a guy who was on the bench for the most part and had to be ready to play when his number was called. And he probably has some tips and tricks to get these players' mind and mentality right. So when it is called and Derek Hill gets called for a pinch batter opportunity, he can hit that home run off of Strahm. And with guys with that mentality, Derek Hill said what he did was he battled versus Strahm in Kansas City, and Strahm got him out on a pitch that was similar to the ball that he hit a home run on. But after the Kansas City at bat, he wrote it down. It's like, okay, he pitched me. The first pitch was this, the second pitch was that, and he wrote it down in a journal. And when it was his time to go up versus Strahm again in Chicago, he remembered that at bat because he firstly visualized it, and secondly, he had wrote it down. And it's like, okay, I went over his own notes and said, he started me off with this, so I'm going to be ready for this pitch in this scenario. And he got that ball and hit a home run. That mentality, that study, that practice, that preparedness gets these players the results that they want because they're ready for anything this other team throws at them. Batting and hitting in the major leagues is hard enough if you're going up blind, but these guys are prepared. I think that is because of the leadership that Will Venable has instilled in him. His steady, calm leadership has been the difference of the White Sox. Even last year, even though they lost 100 games, you can see the difference between him and Pedro Grifol. You could see that he is he's respected in that clubhouse. They might not know his playing career because he wasn't a huge star, but they know that he went through the same battles that they did, rode the same buses that he did, played in the major leagues as they are. And so I think there's a certain level of respect that goes into that. You see what's happening with the Giants right now, where their manager, I think his name is Tony Vadiello from the University of Tennessee, never played Major League Baseball or professional baseball at all. And that's a reason why that hasn't really been a thing in the majors. I think only 8 people have been managers of major league teams that never played professional baseball ever. And the reason is because players don't respect that. It has to be, you have to be in the grind of what they've done to tell them what to do. And they can't respect a person that has jumped the line, so to speak, to say, oh, you're going to tell me how to play in the major leagues or me to play how to play in the professional league when you never did. That stuff matters. Like if a person in your job didn't do what you did, you're not going to respect them as much as the person that went through the grind and has gotten up the level because they had excellence at each level. And now they're telling you what to do because they know what you've been through or what you're going through right now. And so I think the respect level of what Will Venable and his rest of his staff have is really permeating through that team. And they know what he's telling them, something maybe they don't want to hear. He's telling them because of experience and from care for them and care for their career progressing.
Hey guys, we're joined by Herb Lawrence, White Sox writer here. We're talking White Sox baseball here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I agree, dude. There's nothing like experience. When you get managers and coaches who played and who can sit there and talk to you about what's going on, right? You have a lot more respect for them because they were there, right? This is not a theoretical situation for them. This is a situation that they've been through probably many times in their career, and you tend to listen to and respect the advice given from. And I'm not saying that if you haven't played that you can't be respected. I'm not saying that at all. But if you have played, you get a certain level of respect almost instantly because like, damn, he knows exactly what the hell I'm talking about, with this type of pitcher in this situation. So I think that's a great thing is when you have former players who coach / manage, but also put in work. Like you talked about Will Venable. You got to stay ready, right? When you're not a superstar, you got to stay ready. All right. You talked about the guy who got struck out, who hit the home run. Okay. And he had to write that in a journal. Why? That's when you're not a superstar, you have to be ready at all times. You have to be prepared. If you are a superstar and you prepare that way, you are going to be a freaking god, like an Aaron Judge or like a Mike Trout or like a Shohei Ohtani or like a Kobe Bryant was. Is when you're maniacal like that. And I think the fact that Will wasn't a great player, a superstar, an all-star, a Hall of Famer, and his success came to his work ethic. I think you can see it in this team. And I think with that mentality, this team can go very far. And I'm not they're not raising a World Series trophy, but they can go pretty far this year and the upcoming years because of that mentality and the refusal to stop working and to always be ready when called upon.
And I think it's baseball specific, like Major League Baseball specific, as far as that stuff that we're talking about, because Ben Johnson didn't play professionally. Neither usually did, like Thibodeau didn't play professionally in the NBA, but those games are more about strategy. What strategy do you bring that will make me give our team the winning edge? And that's what players care about in those sports. In baseball, it's about, hey, man, you're leading us. We're pretty much going to be doing most of the winning. All I think as a manager and Major League Baseball team has to have is respecting the clubhouse and keeping the clubhouse together. And however he does it is the way that they need to, follow that player. When Pedro Grifol got into the building, when first weekend, I think it was told by former White Sox, I forgot his name, Jackson Frazier, or he changed his name from Clint Frazier to Jackson Frazier. He played for the White Sox, and I think in 2022 or 2023, he's regaled a story about Pedro Grifol where it was Yasmani Grandal not running out a ball that was hit to the shortstop. And players are looking at Grifol to say, hey, you said we got to do this fast thing. We got to do this hustle thing, and that you won't be standing for stuff. And you try to get up in his face, and Grifol pretty much turtled to Yasmani Grandal, and Yasmani Grandal pretty much, intimidated Grifol. Yeah, exactly. And he lost the locker room right there. And I guarantee we'll see somebody like you were just talking about, where Munetake Murakami is running out and trying to beat out a double play, which he did. And then the next batter, Miguel Vargas, hits that tying double. If he doesn't do that, the inning's over. The White Sox probably lose yesterday. But that mentality probably juiced his players up. And he knows that, firstly, he probably already has that from his Japanese days. But secondly, he knows if he goes back to that dugout, not hustling, Will's going to have some words for him.
And his interpreter.
Will's going to say, hey, man, I played in the league for X amount of years. I gave my all every time I was on the field, and I would die to have your talent. You better hustle every goddamn time I see you out there, type of stuff. And that's having that and knowing that your manager has been in there and he's done the dirty work that he's asking you to do, I think that just permeates. That's like in football, like I said, it's a different sport. You don't have to play professionally to be respected. You just have to have the great game plan and be a maniac like Ben Johnson. In baseball, you have to have those credentials. It's a weird thing to do and a weird thing to say, but the players got to know that, hey, if you haven't been in these battles, you can't talk to me about anything. Not one damn thing. And I'm not going to be playing for you as much. And I guarantee that Tony Vitiello out there in San Francisco is going to be a short stay. And I was applauding his hiring initially, but now I can see the fruits and what's happening with him. it's just a weird thing with baseball. That's why it's only been single digits of players that never play professionally to manage major league teams, because it doesn't work with those players.
Davis Martin is probably the best pitcher in Chicago right now. Third best ERA in the bigs. Talk to me about what he's doing now, why he's so successful. Because that dude walks out there with a pair of cojones like he don't give a damn, and he challenges every single. When I was watching that game Saturday, dude, he's coming at you. Bam, strike one. Bam, strike one. Bam, strike one. Like that first inning, boom, boom, all three guys, first pitch, strike. Like he's challenging you. Like, now what's up? Talk to me about that mentality and what has changed. What do you think led to his growth in his confidence to challenge major league hitters who get paid a hell of a lot of money to knock the balls around from a guy who's not a superstar like Davis Martin? Not yet, anyway.
I think multiple things. Like, he's played on three of the worst teams in Major League Baseball history, the 22, 23, and 24 team, or 22, 24, and 25 team, where he was a rookie in 22 at the end of his year. Remember, he got hurt in that last game, and he gave up like 10 earned runs. So his ERA was inflated. He had like a sub-4 ERA that rookie year until that last game where he was hurt and he had to be out for the next year. He was out for the all 2023, getting his Tommy John. He came back. He was on two of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. He was on the 24 team and the 25 team. Those teams didn't do the stuff fundamentally as they do here with the White Sox. I think he went back to the lab and said, okay, I have this devastating kick change, which he learned in the minor leagues, I think in 2024. And to pair that with his mid-90s fastball and all the rest of his repertoire, I believe that he's like, okay, through experience, I know that I get in trouble if I start walking people or start nibbling in the corners and trying to be fine. What I'm trying to do is hit my spots and let these people hit the ball in play and let my fielders do the work. And I know my stuff plays. And that kick change with the combination of his fastball just works so well. And then that devastating slider that he has, I think he used versus Seiya Suzuki on a 3-2 count. It was out in the left-handed batter's box when the catcher caught it, but it started on the edge. And that is a devastating pitch when you're throwing fastballs on that same edge. You entice that batter, and it's like, hey, I got to swing at this. I got to protect. But the ball just had so much sidewards rotation, glove side rotation, that it struck Seiya out. And you see him pumped up because he knew that if he executed his pitch well and he can get out of that inning and he can strike Seiya Suzuki out, he only gave up that one run to the Cubs, who had scored 10 runs the day before. I think that he just has a confidence about him to say, here's the ball, hit it if you can, but I don't think you can all the time because my combination of pitches and where I'm locating these pitches is devastating. And also, people think about him as being a young guy. I think he's 30 years old now. And so he's been through the wars. He's been through the battles, and he knows how to pitch Major League Baseball. He doesn't have top level velocity, so he knows he has to pitch to get these guys out. And this year, he's just combining all the years he's had in the major leagues with the stuff that he has and says, okay, this is what I have, and there's nothing you can do. There is, go ahead and hit it off, but
hey Herb, hold on, we're having some audio. Okay, yeah, I think we had a little bit of audio issue.
You got me now?
Yeah, I think we got you good now. You know, the one thing I really like about him, and I think you touched on it, is his experience. If he's 30 years old right now, usually a lot of times people get into the minors, you get drafted whatever by 21, 22. That's 6, 7, 8 years that you've been in the game, and the one that your experience. And and I love going back to our old Uncle Hawk Harrelson, who said the best pitch in baseball is a well-placed fastball, because it literally sets up everything. You talked about the Suzuki one. Suzuki doesn't want to get rung up hitting on the outside, the outside corner, down and away, and so he swings, but that wasn't a fastball, it was a slider. Boom, ball, and he's whiffing. Why was that set up? Because of the pitches that Davis Martin has been hitting, low. The pitches, his location has been on point, and you could, as a batter, you could tell through the first couple of batters, like, oh shit, he's got something today. Okay. And now that changes your mentality. Like, okay, if it's low and away, I might have to swing at it because that could be a fastball. And I didn't play baseball very long, but I hated getting rung up. let me swing and miss. I'd rather swing and miss, all right, than get rung up, stand there looking like a fool. And you don't want to do that, especially if you have runners in scoring position. And I think Davis Martin is using his experience. And I think, to me, that's and that's not you can't have experience when you come into the league because you don't have time. And that's just a cruise over time. And the smart players are the ones you talked about. He's not overthrowing people, he's pitching. And we've had pitchers here, but we had Mark Burley's like that, who was it, 86, 88 was his top speed. But man, that dude knew how to pitch. And when we get the fact that Davis Martin knows how to pitch is a wonderful thing, because watching him pitch is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and it's a sad thing about today's baseball where a guy like Mark Burley would never get drafted nowadays. I mean, he was hardly drafted by the White Sox. I think he was like 38th round for the White Sox, but came up quickly because he knew how to pitch from community college to the minors. And I think he came up pretty much the year after he got drafted. But this won't happen anymore because they don't believe they'll have 38 rounds anymore. And then also, he doesn't pitch with velocity. That's all they're looking for, 100 plus. And yeah, I get it, because it's hard to hit 100 plus. But what's also hard to hit, as you stated? A well-placed fastball. A combination of that with a kick change. A combination of that with a slider or a sweeper or a knuckle curve. Like, if you know how the mentality of batters are, where the strike zone is at, and you have enough velocity to get, and the velocity of Davis Martin is not like below the hitting zone where Mark Burley's was 89 miles per hour. It's nice in mid-90s fastball. But it's not like
overpowering.
Yeah, and so being that pitcher that he is, which I urge kids to be more of a pitcher than hard throwers, because hard throwers get you in the league, but will you stay in the league? I mean, Michael Kopech, is he still in the league? Where is he at? Hard throwing, is Noah Syndergaard still in the league? That stuff will go away. Your hard throwing will go away eventually. Now can you pitch when you come back from Tommy John surgery? Now can you execute the pitches that you're trying to do when you don't have the 100-mile-per-hour fastball you can rely on? That's what I'm seeing out of Davis Martin. You see what Noah Schultz is doing right now. He's not as polished. He doesn't know how to pitch yet.
Yeah.
He still doesn't know the strike zone because he's a youngster. He doesn't have the repetition, and his long levers, it's hard to probably repeat those mechanics. But I guarantee you, if he continues and starts studying what Davis Martin's doing, even though he's from a left-handed to a right-hander, he can start learning, hey, okay, I don't need to overpower these guys. I don't need to get the strikeout all the time. All I need to do is my stuff has to be good, well located. And if it's on the inside corner on a left-hander and I got 95 there, and guess what? That next pitch might be a changeup there in that same area. Just knowing, okay, I need to work these pitches in a sequence with this batter. Where's this batter's strengths? Where's this batter's weaknesses? And counter and have a chess match and have a back and forth with the batter. If he beats you, tip the cap. If he doesn't, you keep on persevering and understanding the craft that you're in. And I think that's what Davis Martin is. He's a very seldom do you get these guys who are craftsmen of their professions and know that they don't have premium stuff, but what they do have is the pitchability and the know-how and the study, as we talked about earlier with Derek Hill, to understand that this is what the batter's trying to do to me. This is what I'm going to do to him to counter what he's trying to do to me.
Dude, Herb, great stuff. But one more question before I let you go. Chris Getz, I've been very critical of him. Okay, but I got to call a spade a spade. If I would have given him shit when things are going poorly, I got to give him kudos when this thing is turning around and things are going well. And this thing is turned around and things are going well, and I have to give him kudos. Your thoughts on Chris Getz as a GM? Because I was not a big fan of his when he was director of minor league personnel and the director of the whole minor leagues, and they weren't developing anybody. I'm like, oh, okay, so now he got fired forward, he got fired up, you know, and I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more of a lack of development of players. I thought it was going to be more of just moving players along, and it's not that at all, dude. These young kids who are coming up, they have a much better understanding of the strike zone. They have patience. I started this last year. I said that. I'm like, these guys, for being young, 21, 22, 23, are very patient and really disciplined with the strike zone. Talk to me about what Chris Getz has done with these youngsters and down in the minors to the point where when they come up, they're contributing because they're not trying to hit homers all the time. They're not trying to show anyone to prove that they belong there. They're doing what got them drafted, and they're producing when they get to the bigs.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was a vocal dissenter of Chris Getz and his appointment to general manager of the Chicago White Sox because he didn't earn the spot that he was put into. Jerry just saw the proximity. Oh, you're here? Cool. You kind of talk a big game. You seem smart. Here's a job that Rick and Kenny couldn't do. I thought he jumped the line himself. As you said, his minor league systems were terrible for the 7 years that he was there with the White Sox. The development wasn't there for Chris Getz. But as you said, I can be a person that gives credit where it's due, and he's done a good job. It's not just the results. It's the process he went through, because when he first got the job, he probably realized this is way too much for me to do. I'm not ready for this job. So let me get a bunch of smart people around me who I can delegate some of this responsibility to. That's where you get the Josh Barfields. That's where you get the Brian Bannisters, who is the pitching guru of the White Sox. That's why you hire Paul Janisch to do the minor league stuff, and you get the development out of these players in the minor leagues that you've seen that's come with the White Sox right now. Sorry, my dog is just joining the conversation. He's baloney, being a weirdo. Sorry if he barks. But yeah, I think that is what mark of a true leader is. And we're early into the days of the Bulls of vice president of operations. But you could see he's kind of doing the same things. We're getting smart people around him so we can delegate power. So it's not all on him. And that's what Chris Getz is doing. You get a smart manager like Will Venable, and you just don't hold on to Ethan Katz because he's been on the team for a while. You say, hey, Ethan, the job's not getting done. We're going to bring in Bove, and we're going to have him be the new pitching coach. And then we're going to get Derek Showman in here. Yeah, sorry I hired you, Marcus Timms. It didn't work out. Derek Showman is much better for what I'm looking for on this team. And also, I forgot to mention Ryan Fuller, I believe, the hitting guru that Chris Getz hired a couple years ago. So we have a lot of people around Chris Getz that baseball people around Major League Baseball said, that's a smart hire. That guy knows baseball. That guy does things right. And he allows those people to do their job. One of the things with Kenny and Rick, especially Kenny over Rick, he didn't allow Rick to do his job. He didn't allow Rick to just be the general manager, the person that's directing the ship. If Rick had an idea, Kenny was like, well, we're going to do it this way. And Rick had two other bosses above him. He had Kenny and he had Jerry. It seems like Jerry is pretty hands-off, only when there's money involved where he's hands-on. But as far as all the rest of the day-to-day stuff, it's Chris Getz's show. And Chris allows his other lieutenants below him to do what they are hired for. And that is good to see, because you let adults who you've hired to do a job do their job, you'll see the best out of them because you're not looking over their shoulder. You're trusting in what you hired them for, that they're going to be doing, and that's what's happening. And now the process was right, so the results are turning into the right thing. He did that great trade, which is jump-started this White Sox, because when you trade away Garrett Crochet, you get back the 4 players you got back. Now, Meidroff is a solid player, but he's grindy. He plays the game the right way. We see what we got from Kyle Teal. He has been everything you wanted him to be, even though he's been hurt. He's in the dugout, happy, excited, ready for action. And yeah, he got hurt in the minor leagues, but everybody's waiting for his return because we know what he can do with the bat and the glove behind the plate, because he's been really good for the White Sox in his brief time here. And the thing I'm looking forward to the most out of that 4-man trade is Braden Montgomery, who has dominated Double-A, came up to Triple-A, and has come up to dominate Triple-A, and he'll be on the Major League roster before we know it. And so he's kickstarted the rebuild by having great talent out of that trade, getting 3 Major League starters. I think eventually he'll have out of that deal, and then doing the right moves of finally getting Munetake Murakami. Like, I think Jerry had so much resistance to the Japanese market for such a long time, even though when he had 2 Japanese players on his roster was the only time he won a Major League or a World Series, when he had Shingo Takatsu and Tadahito Iguchi. And the only other Japanese player they've had was Kosuke Fukudome in his down year in 2012. So I've been trying to tell, like, on the different platforms I've been on, that, hey, the Japanese market is twofold. You get a good player, but then you get the Japanese market watching your games. That's extra money. You get advertisements. You get merchandise. You get so much more. I guarantee you the Japanese market knows about the Mariners because of Ichiro. They know about the Dodgers from back in Hideo Nomo, and now the 3 players they have on their team.
Mm-hmm.
But they never probably really knew about the White Sox, because the White Sox, yeah, they had those players in 2005, but they really weren't marketed. Munetake Murakami is a superstar in Japan, now in America, and now the White Sox are getting that. I guarantee we're going to have some tourism from the Japanese market to Chicago specifically to see that player play, because he's on the White Sox and he's going up to the Major League Baseball and dominating, where all the rest of the baseball scouts said he can't hit Major League fastballs. Tris Getz and his staff said, I bet he will, and I'll put some money on it. Now, what will impress me the most is him, Justin Ishbia, and Jerry Reinsdorf getting together and saying, what do you want? How much money do you want, Mooney? Because that's what we're here to do. People bristled when I said it's an open checkbook. If he says a number that you don't like, you bristle at, cool, but you get close to that number, because you got to keep. He's 25 years old in his rookie year, showing you that he's got power.
And the most important thing you talked about, since Jerry loves to run things as a business, if you look at the Bulls, you sign him, doesn't matter what you sign him for, because you just got all this Japanese and sponsorship money coming in.
Yep.
You know, how many Japanese people gonna download CHSN just to watch him play?
Yeah. I mean, the $700 million that Shohei is getting paid, that contract's already paid for in year 2. Already paid for. Full. Like, he's going to keep on paying for himself. And that's what Mooney's going to continue paying for himself time and time again. Like you said, all the people who are going to become White Sox fans in Japan specifically, probably tired of their friends talking about the Dodgers, and don't want to go on the Dodger bandwagon anymore. Yeah, you got 3 players, but you know what? Mooney's my guy. I'm a White Sox fan. I'm going to visit Chicago, or I'm going to watch him at night or in the middle of the morning. And getting that CHSN broadcast, because I need to get to see my guy Mooney. And then from there, becoming White Sox fans because they're playing so well.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited the way this trajectory for this team is going. And it's going to be a fun summer, man. It really, really is. We might fuck around and win a damn division.
Hey, anything's possible. The way they're playing right now, I don't think many teams can stop them how they're playing right now. I'll see in the Seattle series how they play, And if they can take 2 out of 3 from Seattle, which I don't doubt they can't, it's going to be great. And I think they go to Colorado after that. So let's eat. Let's take 5 out of 6 these next 6 games. Let's eat.
Yeah, and then the one thing that we did see just before they left, we saw the warmer weather here. And we saw how the rate is a launching pad. And believe me, 5 homers off of Tyone. Was it 3 homers yesterday? 3 or 4 homers yesterday?
Yep.
Dude. And that PCA one could have been a homer if he didn't get the glove on it before he ran to the wall. That is a launching pad, and I cannot wait to see when Money Man go crazy. Once the weather we start getting into the 80s consistently, he might hit a stretch where you're just like, dude, he'll hit 6 homers in 10 games. Something like that.
They're not going to Colorado. They're going to San Francisco. Even better. The team who's struggling out there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, like you said, that weather has produced a White Sox offense that could be a juggernaut. The weather's been good the last 3 years. We haven't had that because they haven't had the hitters. But now that we got the power, man, we might hit 250 home runs this year.
Dude, that'd be great. Hey, Herb, great stuff, my man. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, though, before you go, let everyone know where they can find you online.
You go to Twitter. I'm at Ecknerwall23. That is my last name, Lawrence, spelled backwards. 23 is for Robin Ventura because I'm always a fan of his. But I'm usually just there. I'm not in the business anymore, like not active, but I'm always tweeting about the White Sox there. So you can follow me, Ecknerwall23.
Oh, so 23 is for Rock and Robin, huh?
Yeah. That's my favorite player when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, arguably the best college shortstop of all time. Yep, at Oak State. Okay.
Yep, and a great White Sox player. That's why I'm kind of sad that he became a manager after, because that's I think most White Sox fans think of him as a terrible manager instead of a pretty great Major League Baseball player with 18 Grand Slams, which is 5th all time in Major League history.
Ooh, good nugget, dude. Herb, great stuff, buddy. You have a great day, and I appreciate the time, man.
Thank you, Shawn, for having me again.
All righty. Guys, that's Herb Lawrence, Chicago White Sox savant, aficionado. And, man, it is fun watching this White Sox team and the things they're doing and where they're going this year. All right, it's only going to get better. As we talked about, when the weather gets warmer, that place is going to be rocking. Home run balls are going to be flying out of the park. And bring your glove. If you got a bleacher seat, you better bring your glove. Okay? And stop fighting in the damn bleachers, too. Stop fighting, especially Sox fans on Sox fans. Stop fighting. Oh, man. But anyway, we got a couple minutes left. I want to talk about my guy Kez was talking. It was in the chat talking Bears. King Booker World checked in earlier. Like all the Bears defense has to do is beat top 18, and this team will be a problem. I'll tell you what. First of all, I agree. I agree with that assessment, King Booker World. All right, and I'll tell you this. I think they're going to be top 15, maybe even top 10. And people look at me like, what the hell? Watch. Here's why. Here's my thought on why I think this Bears team will be in the top half and could maybe sneak into the top, get to close to the top 10. Maybe top 11, 12. But hell, it's a lot better than 18. Here's why. One, you got a lot of veterans coming back. Okay? You have veterans who were injured last year who are now going to be healthy, coming in healthy. We talked about the difference between training in an offseason and rehabbing in an offseason, which is what Grady Jarrett did last year, was rehab. Okay? We talked about that. I think the influx of talent, I am super excited to see the Vanilla Gorilla. I really am. I'm excited to see the Vanilla Gorilla. I'm excited to see Big Nev, Garrison. I'm excited to see these youngsters really step forward. And I know Shamar Turner's coming off an injury, so he's rehabbing as well. How much we get out of him is still in question. But I'm also looking forward to Austin Booker. Austin Booker was a guy who was really come on toward the end of the season. And he's gotten bigger, stronger, faster. I'm anxious to see how he performs and does he take a big step forward. Al Harris, and we, as much as we talk about Nishan Wright, Al Harris, everywhere he's gone, has had DBs who have been top in interceptions. So if we're going to have an increase in pass pressure, okay, with Austin Booker, with the Vanilla Gorilla, with Nev Garrison, with Grady Jarrett, I think Al Harris will have these defensive backs ready to take that ball away again, like he did last year. And I'm telling you, it's going to take a couple early. Give me a couple early interceptions, and the confidence is going to go through the roof. And these guys are going to start playing. Let's not forget, we're getting back a healthy Jalen Johnson. We're getting back a healthy Pro Bowl Jalen Johnson in that secondary. That is going to cause offenses problems because you don't throw to his side. Last year you did because he came off an injury. He came back a little too soon, and you wanted to test him. And guess what? You had success against teams had success against him. Knowing him from my interviews with him in the locker room, oh yeah, he is ready to show people last year was a fluke. Last year he was hurt. Last year he wasn't 100%. He wasn't himself. Oh, he's ready for a big year, and he's trying to lock one side of the field down. Throw the other side. Tyreek Stevenson, Malik Muhammad, Terrell Smith. On the other side, you better get ready. There's going to be a lot of passes thrown your way because people are not going to want to throw toward Jalen Johnson. That. Because they're going to throw it him once. He's going to get a pick, maybe take it to the house, and all right, let's go to the other side. Let's go to the other side. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. But I think that defense is going to do a lot better than most people think because we didn't draft an edge rusher. We didn't get a D tackle till, the Vanilla Gorilla was a 6th round, 7th round. Okay. And again, I applaud. I was not happy with the draft initially, but as I sat back and thought about it rationally, I applaud Ryan Poles. I applaud Ryan Poles for taking the best players available. So you got to understand, great players, regardless of need, make plays. Help your team. And I get it. You're like, how's Logan going to help our team? Logan Jones. Do you not understand the relationship between a quarterback and a center? Have we not seen the bromance that was Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday? You have to understand, you got to get it. There is a relationship that quarterback and center have. And if center is able to set protections, that's one less thing off the quarterback's plate. And he can focus more on reading, understanding, and dissecting a defense, pre and post snap. And Logan Jones, you don't start at Iowa as a center or on the offensive line for 4 years. You don't do that. You just don't do that. Iowa constantly churns out offensive linemen left and right. For you to come in as a freshman, start as a freshman, speaks volumes about, one, about who you are, two, about how your talent, three, about your level of excellence that you maintain, your integrity. Because you're going to have to put in a lot of work to learn as a freshman. He did. You have to put in a lot of work to understand and to realize that you're not as strong as a lot of guys you're going to face. So technique is going to be important. So when you're working in indies, individual drills, indies, everything is taken. You work. Like you literally work. It's not a time to exhale and rest. But you're working. It says a lot about the integrity of that young man. So, hey, listen, 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Herb Lawrence, for coming on, talking White Sox baseball with us. That was a great conversation. If you missed it or any part of it, make sure you go back and check it out. It was a great, great interview. Great conversation. I'm going to say interview. Great conversation with Herb Lawrence talking White Sox baseball. Listen, I hope you guys have a great day. It's raining. It's raining out here in the burbs. Probably raining in the Shy. Doesn't matter. Let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right, make plans with your people after work. It was supposed to be 70s today. Oh, high of 79. It's 78 right now. High of 79. But the thunderstorms until 5. All right, you got a couple of nice. Don't do that, Junior. Don't do that. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great day. I will see you guys on Wednesday for more Chicago Sports Talk. And also, today, 12:15, Second City Sports with Lakina and Sid. Another 2-hour conversation of Chicago sports. It's raining hard in Chicago. Yeah, it is, Bashan. It is. I'm out in the burbs, and, man, it was coming down for a minute. Whew. But anyway, hope you have a great day. Again, thanks to Herb Lawrence for coming on talking Sox baseball with us. I will see you on Wednesday. It was SuperBack. I am out.